before you even consider hiring a web designer. You want to do some research and just make sure that the person or the people that you work with understand your brand, they understand the goals that you want out of your website, and that it is a good collaboration in the end, because that's what it is. It's a collaboration. So what are the main concerns of interior designers? Hello, my lovely OB friends. Today, I want to talk about the top concerns that interior designers might have when it comes to hiring a web designer. And so I went on my trusty perplexity.ai, thank you AI, and I typed in, what are some of the concerns that interior designers have expressed online before they consider hiring a web designer? And I have 5 points that I'm going to take directly from what Perplexity has said to me. And we're going to go through them step by step and just answer those concerns. So definitely before you even consider hiring a web designer, of course, yes, you want to do some research and just make sure that the person or the people that you work with understand your brand, they understand the goals that you want out of your website, and that it is a good collaboration in the end, because that's what it is. It's a collaboration. So what are the main concerns of interior designers? The first one is the website will not represent their personal design style or brand accurately, risking a disconnect with their target market. Totally get this one. So this totally depends on whether you're looking for a brand redesign as well as a website redesign, or whether you're just looking to bring more alignment between your website and what your brand is currently and what it represents. First things first, if it's both a brand and website redesign, the two will go hand in hand when it comes to doing the pre-project work with a web designer. So the first thing that a designer should do is start working on your branding, your brand identity. Depends on how deep you're going into this, but for the purpose of this video, we're just going to look at your brand identity and the aesthetics. So that's your color palette, your brand logo, and the typography that we are going to use in the branding and then the website. In our process, we often stick to 1 to 2 weeks as a time frame to do this before we even dive into the web design aspect. The first thing that we will do is dive into who your ideal client is, so your target market. What is it they're looking for? What problems are you trying to solve for your clientele? What are their pain points? And then also things like, where do they hang out online? What kind of brands do they like? You really want to go into the psyche of who your ideal client is. Now, these are very fundamental concepts, and yeah, you can go a lot deeper into this. But again, for the purpose of this video, I really just want to dive into this is the way that your brand identity or your branding will be considered for your website redesign and alignment with your website. Other things we will also look at is the brand personality. What is your brand personality? What feelings are you trying to convey? All of this really helps us deep dive into the aesthetics of your branding. So that when it comes to actually translating it to your website design, both are very much aligned, both go hand in hand, and there's no confusion about when a visitor lands on your website, who this business is, who this brand is. Now, if you're not looking for a brand redesign and you just want to bring your website more in alignment with your current branding, then you really want to collaborate with your designer in handing them all of the assets so that they can study what your branding is. Again, who is your target market? In our case, even if we're not redesigning your branding or designing your branding from scratch, we still want to go into the fundamentals of who is your target market, who's your ideal client, what's their pain point, what are their challenges, what brands do they like, what other brands do they like, what is their psychology of purchase, what makes them purchase. So your branding and your website go very much hand in hand, and your designer will know this, a good designer will know this. And actually, this is a very good chance for you as the interior designer or architect to take a look at your branding again and just to revisit some fundamental aspects of your business that you probably haven't visited in a while. The concern number 2 is budget overruns, or there are hidden costs that could make the project more expensive than anticipated. So when working with a designer, there will always be an initial discovery call, strategy call, whatever you want to call it. But in that first and initial meeting, you will run through with your potential designer what exactly is going to be involved in the project. Basically, what is it that you need redesigning in your business to bring your website and your brand up to scratch? And all of this will then form as part of the initial proposal that your designer hands over to you. When you're handed the proposal from the designer, it should cover all of those discussion points from that initial meeting. And in most cases, like itemized, so you know exactly what you're being charged for. So the proposal that is handed over to you, and usually in a PDF format, for example, should be nice and detailed with the total investment at the end listed. And if there are any other additional costs, that should also be included in the proposal as external costs. And then you should know that every good designer will always hand over a contract as the official agreement between two parties. And that contract will also then list all of the details, all of the fun details of the project. So yes, read the proposal and read the contract. And if you do ever have any queries, just question your designer or the potential designer that you're looking to hire. Just ask them all of the questions up front. I always say just be in communication from the start and just have things very clearly laid out and stated. Concern number 3, receiving a website that feels generic, outdated, or fails to set them apart from competitors. When you are having a website designed as bespoke for your business, designers will take what was discussed in the initial meeting, in any initial conversations, as a part of their initial mood board layout. Many web designers also ask for inspiration, websites that you've come across from perhaps your competitors or perhaps something you've seen on Pinterest. And basically, if you give all of that information or as much information as possible from the start to your designer, they can really start to get a really good picture of what it is that you're looking for in terms of aesthetics. This just comes back to being in communication as much as possible. And again, good designers will ask these questions up front because the more they have, the better the work that they can create for you. Before working with your designer, always have a look at their portfolio. That's something that'll be available on their website, or you can ask for it again in initial meetings. There may be links in the proposal that they've sent you. But they will have a portfolio which you can run through, and this will give you a very good idea of the type of work that they do. Concern number 4, user experience issues such as slow loading, poor navigation, non-responsiveness on mobile devices that could deter prospective clients. So this is very important. Your user experience and the type of strategy that your designer implements is very important. Now, when it comes to things like slow loading, this is something quite basic that your designer will already be quite knowledgeable in. They will know how to avoid this on your website. Things like keeping your images to a certain size, not having huge files stored on your website, and many other things as well that they will already be aware of. So again, I keep going back to this, but another big thing that you want to do is go through the portfolio, have a look to see other websites that your designer has created. And this will give you a very good idea. Are these websites slow loading? Are there very basic things wrong with the website? All of these things that you can quickly assess. So basically, all good designers will know how to avoid any slow loading issues. Poor navigation can also be avoided by having a very good website strategy. And your website strategy is something that is non-avoidable today. So all good designers will have strategy as a built-in service. This forms a big part of the project and is just as important as aesthetics. Your navigation will be determined by your website goals. What is it that you want your website to do for your business? Who you are as a brand and a business. All of these things will form a part of your navigation and how people navigate your site. And your designer will construct this in collaboration with you. So again, when working with your designer, look for strategy as part of the project. And in 2025 and going forward, this is non-avoidable. This is very important. A concern of non-responsiveness on mobile devices, totally get it. Now, although the number of people visiting your site on laptop or desktop compared to mobile devices will vary depending on what your business is and what you do, being responsive on mobile is very important. And once again, this should be a very basic thing that's built into the proposal or the project that your designer is giving to you. So what I would say is, if these are your concerns, before waiting for the designer that you're potentially looking to hire, bring it up. And certainly if they don't bring it up, I would definitely question these things. And I suppose if you're going quite deep into your initial call with your designer, or if they haven't even raised this in the proposal that they send to you, then that might be a little bit of an amber or slightly edging into the red flag. And that's something you can question and query with them. Concern number 5, difficulty in keeping the website updated without ongoing technical support or extra costs. Totally get it. So the reason we use platforms like Squarespace and Shopify is because going forward and after we've handed a website over to a client, these platforms are so easy to use. Now, a part of our service when we are handing over the website is actually teaching our client how to use the platform, how to design in the back end, make edits in the back end, and also how to use some of the other features too. The SEO aspect, looking at analytics, creating and editing products. All of these things should come hand in hand when your web designer is actually teaching you how to use this platform. Platforms like Squarespace, Shopify, Showit, Wix, the user interface is so amazing that even a non-technical person can make simple and easy updates in future. Pretty much all of our clients go away pretty confident knowing that they can make simple edits to their website without having to get in touch with us every time. And that's the way we like it too. We like to see businesses be confident with their website and not just have it be a burden to think, oh no, I need to make this edit and now potentially wait 2 weeks for that technical support when it can be done in 5 to 10 minutes. So this is a very good conversation to have with the designer that you're potentially looking to hire as well. Future edits and ongoing technical support is a biggie. So yeah, this is a great concern to have, but it doesn't have to be a looming one. And good designers will always either provide the support easily or they will teach you how to use platforms so that you can do these things easily yourself. So those are 5 concerns of a few more that Perplexity gave me that interior designers seem to have. But look, when it comes to working with a good brand and web design studio, these top 5 concerns that we've just been through, I can quite confidently say will be alleviated. If you have any concerns, get on the call with this potential designer of yours and just run through it with them. Any good designer will quite happily answer these questions for you. And again, it is a collaborative process. The designer should ask of you upfront as well what they will need from yourself as well to make both parties' lives easier. So the best advice that I can potentially give you is find a designer that you're going to work really well with, a designer that you can communicate well with, someone that you feel really comfortable with, because then you're going to have fun throughout the process. You're spending a few weeks working on your branding and your website. So you want to have fun. And again, and lastly, we run our own brand and web design studio. Should you want to get in touch with us, I have left our website and our email in the description of this video. So do feel free to get in touch and we would love to consider working with you. I wish you all the best with your brand and web design. And if you do have a concern that is really looming on your mind and I haven't addressed it on this video, please leave it in the comments below and I'd love to answer your question. Or perhaps I'll make a part 2 to this video as well, addressing more concerns that interior designers, but also other businesses might have when it comes to hiring a web designer. Okay, my friend, check out this other video that you might be interested in, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.